Hello, I'm now in Merrion Square and the immigration chaos continues. Just down behind me there's up to 50 tents. We've seen most of Dublin along the Grand Canal up as far as Harold's Cross Bridge being fenced off. We've also seen barricades being erected in the last number of days on Leeson Street Bridge. This chaos cannot continue. It's absolutely madness, and now they've moved just close enough to Dáil Éireann. And coincidentally, here we have a festival in Merrion Square today called the Taste of Dublin, where ticket prices for a morning sitting is about €18. Pretty prohibitive for a lot of people to attend, especially many people who are struggling. But I've spoken before about the benefactors of the immigration industry, and one would be the big employers as well as commercial property owners, because in the last week, Retail Ireland, huge lobby group, part of the Irish Business Employers Confederation, have been lobbying against getting pay increases and have warned the government of their policies in terms of moving towards increasing the minimum wage, towards a living wage, also issues around statutory sick pay and auto-enrolment for pension entitlements as well. And this comes in the back of bumper profits for the retail industry in Ireland, because over a couple of years ago the SuperValu and Centric Group, Musgrave Group, made over €116 million in profits. Tesco, up to early 2023, was €86 million in profits. Absolutely astronomical money they're making. Forcing more people into poverty. People are struggling with the cost of living crisis, and the profiteering going on by these big retail groups is really, really frightening for more and more people who are struggling to keep and pay for food on their table as well, and struggling to pay sky high rents as well. And we've seen push now by Retail Ireland and IBEC as well to stop all these increases to the minimum wage. And what better way to work on it than have cheap labour? And Central Bank have been looking for cheap labour. A lot of the tents down here will be used as cheap labour, will be exploited. There'll be no penalties on employers for employing people, but this is part of who the political establishment work for. They work for big business, they pit worker against worker, and they exploit them every single time, drive down workers' pay and conditions. And what do the unions say about it? Well, the vast majority of the unions are not saying anything, because they're more interested in virtue signalling than dealing with the reality of what's going on the ground. And what do the political opposition say? Nothing about the minimum wage, nothing about low wage economy. And Ireland is a low wage economy. 1 in 5 workers are in low pay. And it's ironic because we see the huge commercial property owners making money out of it. So this is a huge subsidy for these landlords. And this is just not far away from a place called Staunton's in the Green. And up in Rathmines, there was a hotel opened up recently where by big hoteliers, Owen Doyle and Ray Byrne, who own a restaurant around on Staunton's on the Green and Stephen's Green, making huge money from the immigration industry, providing accommodation as well. And yards away in Rathmines, there was a man from Ireland, homeless man, sleeping rough on the streets. But yet there's accommodation provided left, right and centre for the big employers. And this is how it works in Ireland, and the political establishment are supporting them every single time. And this is just across the street here from Daniel O'Connell's house on Merrion Square, number 58, where he lived and gave many speeches actually from the balcony up there. He was seen as the great emancipator. We need a huge emancipation from the shackles of the Irish corrupt political establishment and opposition, who are fully supporting this agenda, fully supporting the erosion of basic workers' rights and the attack on ordinary working class people who are suffering because of lack of access to services, and more people struggling to find accommodation in terms of the housing rental crisis, the homeless crisis, and all these issues as well. But they're not being addressed because you're more interested in having virtue signallers standing up and down rather than dealing with the underlying issue, who benefits. So it's important to keep highlighting this, and we need to get solutions. And solutions are that the people take charge of the policy. We need to take back sovereignty, and that starts with community sovereignty. That starts with being involved in the policy of the state. This is just lunacy, and this is really what's happening as they move towards an homogenous style of culture. And it benefits who does it benefit? It benefits the big global corporations. And of course, Peter Sutherland gave a great speech on that in 2014 about globalisation. Benefits the big employers, the super rich, and everybody else has to pay for it. Meanwhile, we have this Taste of Dublin festival here today on the Merrion Square. Well, that's a real taste of Dublin to what's really happening, how people are struggling in poverty, misery, and struggling to access basic services, hospital appointments as well. And this is going to put pressure on on services, under-resourced public and social services. And recently, Michael McGrath has said that we have to give more money into the European Union budget to maintain the same level of social services, which is who's paying for it? More saddle onto our national debt, ordinary people, more austerity, more hammering of public services, more privatisation, deregulation of public services. So thanks for joining me today, really appreciate it, and please keep sharing my videos, press subscribe. We need to stand up for the interests of people here in Ireland and put the needs of ordinary people first, where we stand up against this rotten, corrupt Irish political establishment and the European Union bureaucrats also. And stand up for a country we're proud of and a city we're proud of. So this is a real taste of Dublin when they're having this festival today. So what's really happening on the ground, and it's absolutely shameful. Thanks for joining me. Take care. Talk to you all soon. Slán. Bye bye.